Barbie, the world's #1 doll for over 40 years, is in big trouble.
They're taking her in a very strange direction. I mean, she really is midlife crisis Barbie at this point.
There's a new kid on the block called Bratz. With a younger, streetwise image, she's out to steal Barbie's crown.
What drives me is to win. If we have now 50% market share in the fashion doll industry, why not have 60? Why not have 75%?
And to make matters worse for Barbie, Cindy, her old British rival, is returning to the fray.
In the Battle of the Dolls, I would be confident that Cindy could regain her fashion doll crown.
Tonight, who will win the doll wars? Will it be curtains for Barbie, or can she make it through her midlife crisis? Here in London's prestige toy store Hamleys, it's launch day for the latest trendy phenomenon from the US. They're called Bratz dolls, and the team have been up until 2 a.m. preparing this showcase stand.
Passion for fashion. Passion for fashion.
At £20 a go, these haute couture 10-inch plastic creations are more catwalk than Doll's House.
Make your fashion move.
Don't theorize, accessorize.
The Bratz range is made up of 8 characters, all with trendy names.
Yasmin, Cloe, Sasha, Jade.
Jade and the girls are big business in America, and their UK distributor, Nick Austin, feels that they've hit upon a global winning formula.
Bratz are specifically focused on fashion and focuses on that older girl. And the great advantage of winning the hearts and minds of older girls is that their younger sisters aspire to them, so ultimately you get this really good trickle-down effect.
Just yards away from the Bratz stand here in Hamleys is her rival Barbie, queen of the doll aisles for decades.
If you ask children a few years ago what they wanted, it was always Barbie, 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 but that was because there was no competition, there was nothing else there. And I think this is the first time that little girls have had a real choice on the doll shelf.
The battle here in Hamleys is being played out at toy stores across the length and breadth of the country.
I know this ship Bratz, let you sail for a long time.
It's a face-off to be top doll, and Barbie is ready for the fight. This is her latest incarnation, Cali Girl Barbie, a return to her Californian beachy roots. Barbie is the #1 girls brand in the world, and its maker, Mattel, the biggest toy company in the world. They estimate that worldwide, 2 Barbies are sold every second. However, in April, Mattel announced profits were down 73%, and US sales of Barbie down 15%. Her rivals smell blood, and all of a sudden, she looks vulnerable. To make matters worse for Barbie, there's a plucky British challenger making a comeback.
I said, are you gonna be my girl?
Cindy. She's been redesigned, revamped, and now she too wants a piece of the action.
This probably is a good time to actually take a look at the changes to the body and to the head sculpt. And I think probably
the relaunch is the brainchild of Denise Dean. If it's going to really challenge Barbie, the new look has got to be perfectly targeted.
Have her heels with her. It's a very, very competitive time to make a relaunch, but we're confident that we have something unique to offer, and that Cindy will be a main player within the doll industry.
It's a 3-way battle now, but it's one worth winning. The UK fashion doll market is worth over £100 million. That is serious dolly lolly. And getting a chunk of it means knowing your target audience. Girls like 8-year-old Lola. She's exactly the type of hard-nosed consumer that these companies are going to have to woo. Like most girls of her age, she has a broad and baffling range of interests.
I like playing the flute because it makes a nice noise. I like reading. I like The Princess Diaries, videos and DVDs, programmes on the television, The Lion King, Shrek, Yes Club 7, sleepovers and rock climbing stuff.
Try marketing to that. The reason the doll industry is so unpredictable is that girls like Lola are growing up quicker than ever, and increasingly Barbie's struggling to keep up.
I like Barbie, but I think I've grown out of it and I don't play with it as much. I don't really play with it.
Analysts have spotted a trend amongst girls like Lola and even given it a name.
KGAY, Kids Growing Older Younger, an acronym that's bounced around all over the place these days. And what we've got is a bunch of children aged between 8, 13 or 14 who, in terms of their taste, there's an increasingly apparent sophistication in the things that they're looking for, both in terms of music, fashion and toys.
We brought together Lola and a group of her friends. We gave them a selection of dolls and asked them to decide which is their favourite. So what do these girls like? And how are these doll companies going to win their vote?
You got your cool clothes on? Yeah.
How about Rosie, age 4?
Chicken fairy.
Or Cora, the sophisticated 8-year-old?
I've got my best
Or Daisy, who knows what's cool and what's not?
And this is really cool because she's got a nice boat.
Or fashion-conscious Sophia?
Actually, I'm not taking my keyring.
The doll manufacturers have to get on the same wavelength as these girls, which could prove quite a feat.
20 years ago, high fashion, the most trendy pop stars, etc., would have been something that teenagers would have been able to talk about without any problem. What you'll now find is that parents will say that their 8-year-old children are completely cognizant of who these people are. And it's the changes in fashion and music have filtered right down into much, much younger age groups.
And this is the challenge which the manufacturers are going to have to get to grips with.
This is my handbag. And did you know I got 3 handbags? I need to work, but I'm not going to work now.
Barbie, you're beautiful. You make me.
It was a lot simpler 40 years ago. Mattel single-handedly created the teenage doll market with Barbie. Company founder Ruth Handler started the Barbie story in 1959. During a trip to Germany, she saw this character from a cartoon strip in a downmarket newspaper and hit upon the audacious plan to transform her into a fashion doll for little girls.
Ruth Handler was an extraordinary businesswoman and not someone that I would ever want to oppose in a business deal. Her genius was taking essentially this, slutty German comic strip character and turning it into the ultimate American girl. It was brilliant.
For dancing out the rings and bells.
For girls, the idea of dressing your own dolly in adult clothes was an instant success, and Barbie sales soared. In 1961, a boyfriend called Ken was introduced.
So now Mattel brings you Ken, Barbie's boyfriend.
Mattel was a pioneer in marketing terms too, making the first TV adverts aimed directly at children.
What had been a mom-and-pop business with a seasonal focus on Christmas was suddenly a year-round big business.
Barbie dressed for swim and fun is only $3.
Because Mattel was advertising the product directly to the girls themselves via television,
Tell it's Mattel.
Parental disapproval didn't matter. The kids loved it, and it sold.
By 1962, Barbie had a rival in the UK, in the shape of the Cindy doll. She was a more round-faced girl-next-door type, and was an immediate hit with British girls, even outselling Barbie.
Live-action PJ.
But Barbie was still the world's #1 doll. And for her to remain there, Mattel had to continually reinvent her to fit with the cultural trend of the day, sometimes more successfully than others.
She didn't do too well in the 1970s because it was all kind of back to nature and, back to natural fibers. And Barbie has, is a slab of plastic who wears plastic. I mean, you don't get more artificial than Barbie.
Hot eyes, bad hair.
It was the 80s that saw Mattel really cash in. The 80s and Barbie seemed to go hand in glove.
Fashion's in the California sun. She's in
The 1980s was the decade of greed. And Barbie, she exists to pile up consumer goods, you know, houses, cars, boats, clothes, shoes. This is what Imelda Marcos was about. This is what Ivana Trump was about. And Barbie was right up there with them, with her little teeny charge card, piling up consumer goods.
The defining Barbie statement on 80s yuppie culture was day to night Barbie. By day, city slicker. By night, sophisticated disco queen.
Day to night Barbie taught girls what they needed to know to be successful in business.
We can work from 9 to 5.
And the message of this outfit was, you're allowed to look like a male warrior by day,
We girls can do anything.
as long as you compensate, basically, by looking like a drag queen by night.
Here in the UK, she was still waging war with her rival Cindy. And on a television programme that was as British as they come, there was only one winner in the transatlantic catfight.
If you'd like to make this lovely bed for either your doll or as a present for a friend, I'll show you what to do.
Janet Ellis, the former Blue Peter presenter and sometime creator of a range of stylish furniture, had no doubt about which doll came first.
It was always Cindy, but we had to say a doll like this because the BBC were very careful about product placement and endorsement.
Now, if you've got dolls like these, dolls like this one, if you own a doll like this one.
It was a conscious decision to use Cindy because there was no doubt that Blue Peter was British to the core, and there she was, a shining example of well-turned-out British girlhood. So who better to end up with a four-poster bed and a jacuzzi?
For Janet, it was Cindy's imperfections that made her more appealing than her glam rival from across the pond.
She's a little softer, you know, her face is a little fuller. I don't think she goes to the gym all the time. I don't think she's got her manicurist on speed dial. I suspect Barbie of that. I mean, Barbie set standards we could never hope to achieve. She is perfect. She always looks terrific. But there's something a little scruffier about Cindy, and I think that probably appealed to a softer sort of girl, really.
However, by the 90s, Cindy had been overtaken in her own backyard. Barbie was the UK's bestseller. Then in 2001, Bratz arrived. The man who launched them spotted the doll's potential straight away. Isaac Larian arrived in America 30 years ago. He started out as a penniless Iranian immigrant, working here in a roadside diner on the outskirts of LA, where he earned a pittance washing dishes. He's convinced this gave him the edge he needed to survive in business.
You come from all the way down to a level you're here, and there are many obstacles. It's not an easy thing to do. But then you really become street tough. So you don't get scared easily by big corporations. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Stefan. Hi, Eileen. How you doing?
In 1979, Isaac had started a toy company called MGA, selling electronic games. But it was in the cutthroat world of teenage fashion dolls that he was to make his fortune.
We brought the key feature of the snowmaker. We blew it up.
You know, I know I'm too picky, but maybe we could have. Do you think we could have moved it up here?
His eureka moment came 4 years ago when a design landed on his desk that caught his eye. He looked close to home for advice.
Okay, great. I looked at it and I asked Yasmin, my daughter, what do you think? And she said, Dad, these are really cool. They're fashionable. So I said, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this.
He took his courage in his hands and put the doll into production. The Bratz range hit the shelves in 2001, and sales tipped the $100 million mark within the year.
You see, I'm worried about the eyes a little bit, though. You know, it's a little ghosty.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit theatrical. And this, too. This one's not your standard face paint either. It's new exploration.
Yeah, but I like these. They're really beautiful, huh?
It takes a certain amount of brassiness just to even go after Barbie. And that brassiness translates into sassiness, which you actually see in the product.
Isaac's bright idea was to make Bratz younger, funkier, and more ethnically diverse than its rival. They exaggerated the look of an adolescent girl, with big heads, big eyes, and a look of cheeky disdain. For the tweenage fashionistas they were targeting, Isaac decided that Barbie pink was just so passé.
Somehow the Bratz people were able to come up with something that was unique, almost an anti-Barbie, and it's difficult for Barbie to become an anti-Barbie.
Mattel knew that Bratz posed the biggest threat they'd ever faced on the doll shelves, and they knew they had to come out fighting.
You might want to take a look at how these things are packed out, how the accessories are packed out next time, because it's all down in one spot. We might be able to lay it around and
spread it out a little.
Yeah, I think so. How long is it shipped?
The man brought in to turn Mattel's fortunes around was former Disney executive Tim Kilpin. He was given the job of making Barbie cool again.
The employees are very aware that we are really on a mission this year to do more with Barbie, to make Barbie more hip, more trendy, more authentic, to take her to that next level for this year. So yeah, the mission is very keenly felt by everybody here.
Tim's team had its work cut out. Older girls just weren't buying into Barbie. With Mattel's share price halved since 1998, it was going to be tough.
Any big company finds it difficult to change on a dime, but when you've been in the toy industry as long as Mattel has and been successful in the toy industry as long as Mattel has, you have to be good at some change.
Mattel's first attempts to claw back sales from Bratz in that older girl market was the release last year of a new doll range. They were called Flavors and had a hip-hop theme. They launched with a fanfare. Mattel was seeking maximum street cred.
The Mystique girls were also launching what's claimed to be the world's first hip-hop dollies.
There was just one slight problem. The range flopped, and embarrassingly for Mattel, the Flavors line was pulled within 6 months.
Try to imagine, if you will, in California, a committee of white guys sitting around a table saying what it is that the kids are interested in. Well, we hear they're interested in hip-hop. Urban themes seem to be popular, and poof, out of that comes Flavors, which looks like the Beach Boys trying to do rap.
The Flavors range was designed primarily to reach a more music-oriented audience. It was designed very specifically to answer that kind of a play and that kind of a fashion sense, if you will. You know, we designed it very specifically with that in mind to an older girl.
And it was less successful than you might have hoped?
It was less successful than we might have hoped, yes.
To say that it died on the vine doesn't really do justice to the lack of success that that product had.
Bruised and punch-drunk they might have been from the Flavors fiasco, but Mattel came back fighting with a range that finally laid a glove on Bratz.
Hey Barbie, what's your scene? My obsession, my prized possession.
It was called My Scene and featured 6 characters in modern, fashionable settings. They looked different than traditional Barbie, with more accessories, a bigger head, and more almond-shaped eyes. Crucially, while Barbie was one of the characters, it wasn't a Barbie-branded product.
My gang, my scene. 11.5-inch dolls, each sold separately.
They're almost trying to distance themselves from the Barbie brand, but still tap into the brand power of Barbie. But it's a much more sophisticated look, and the themes within the My Scene line are more what you'd expect teenagers to be interested in rather than little girls.
In its second year, My Scene sales went up almost 400%. Bratz boss Isaac Larian is suspicious.
I basically called My Scene dolls cheap imitation of the Bratz dolls, and it's unfortunate that a company like Mattel, who's really #1 toy company in the world, resorts to imitation rather than innovation.
Whatever Isaac says, My Scene has bought Barbie some much-needed breathing space. But there's just one problem. Because the product wasn't emblazoned with a Barbie logo, it wasn't promoting the Barbie brand. With items like Barbie lunchboxes and stereos making up a huge part of the business, these 6 letters mean a lot to Mattel. So, in a moment of pure Hollywood theatre, Mattel had a brainwave to get the Barbie brand back in the headlines. To promote her latest Californian look, in a mock press conference, they announced news that would rock the toy world.
Good morning. This is an announcement we thought we'd never make. We will today address the rumors surrounding Ken and Barbie's 43-year relationship. Because I will confirm that Ken and Barbie are going to go their separate ways. And it's with a deep emotion that I make that formal announcement.
By doing the unthinkable and splitting up Ken and Barbie, Mattel are hoping to re-energize the brand. But is it sending out the right message?
They're taking her in a very strange direction. I mean, she really is midlife crisis Barbie at this point, where you hit middle age, as Barbie is doing in the year 2004, and suddenly you ditch your husband or your longtime partner, and you start wearing really age-inappropriate clothes. And worse, I mean, which has absolutely no dignity, is she's dating all these other male dolls.
It was an opportunity for us to introduce a new character who is part of this set of friends in the form of Blaine, who is, we think, Barbie's new boyfriend.
Blaine, an Australian surfer, is the new man in Barbie's life. He hits Britain's toy stores this summer with a lot riding on his 2-inch shoulders. Meanwhile, back in the UK, the Cindy relaunch is on schedule. Pedigree, her parent company, have commissioned a TV advert to let the world know that Cindy is back. Today, Denise Dean is casting for the face of the new campaign. In order to sell Cindy's new look, they have to find a face that fits with the marketing. Someone cuter, less glam than her rivals. An example of good old-fashioned British girlhood.
We're not trying to get her to be a mirror image of the doll. We're not looking to cast Cindy today. What we're trying to get is a little girl who is possibly a reflection of the doll in a way that she is a normal girl.
To make a dent in the fashion doll market, Denise has to cast the girl perfectly. Today's applicants are desperate to win, and their parents are quite keen too.
How many are here now?
5. I just let them all sign in, explain what's going on, make them feel a bit at ease, because they're all nervous and don't talk at the moment.
The cameras roll and they're in the spotlight.
So, tell me your name.
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, that's a good big voice. Right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, off you go. Give Teddy a big kiss. First, what I want you to do is a little bit of acting for me. Can you do that? Yes, you can. Have you got a very big, loud voice? Have you? I don't believe you. Can you be very loud?
Now the crucial bit, putting Cindy to bed.
Go to bed.
It's proving easier said than done.
Oh, that's it.
Time to go to bed, Cindy.
One girl seems to have got the knack.
That's it. Well done. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Well done. That's all there is to it. Well done. Very good.
The next morning, Denise shows the team the video of the applicants.
I mean, they were all lovely. They're all, you know, beautiful, cute kids, what can you say? But it was just looking for one with the extra spark.
The ad will be the centrepiece of Cindy's campaign to crack the UK doll market.
That's a crazy face. she bit the inside of her lip.
She's cute.
She
does like to have an older, younger look. Yeah, she does. Cute.
The successful candidate will appear in the 20-second commercial this autumn.
Sophie.
Denise's preferred choice, Sophie N, is last up.
You've just 7, or have you been 7 a long time?
I've just been 7.
I'm pretty confident that we should go with the last girl, Sophie N. Go around the table. If you don't agree, please do say so. Hilary, start with you.
No, I'm happy. I think she's got a lovely smiley face. She looks really happy. She looked like she's enjoying herself. So, no, I think she's right. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think she's cute and she's natural, and I think she gets Cindy's vote there.
Yeah.
Probably the best choice.
Yeah, you know, she was
Interaction.
definitely the most into it. So.
OK, well, I think what we'll do is we'll put her forward as number 1.
The stage is now set for this battle to play out over the next 6 months. So who'll come out on top? We went back to Lola and her friends to find out. They've been road testing the doll rivals. What will they choose? The all-American original queen of dolls, Barbie, her funky new rival, Bratz, Mattel's Meygen, or the doll that their mums played with, Cindy.
What's that? I don't know. They're water bottles. That here look a bit the same. Can I see? Yeah, they look the same. Yeah.
When it comes to the crunch, which way will the girls vote?
I liked the Cindy, but I like the Bratz better. I really like Bratz. Bratz much more than Barbies. I like Meygen because my favourite animal is rabbits and it's got rabbit slippers. I chose Meygen because I like it.
While Bratz and Meygen are making good ground, the new Cindy and traditional Barbie appear to be struggling.
Cindy's, well, they sort of came in different sizes, so I thought, how can you tell which ones, are they trying to make her look younger or older or something like that? Cindy was okay, but I sort of liked her. I saw the old style Barbies, but they haven't got as many things to go with them.
So who will be crowned Queen of the Dolls? The girls finally decide.
Barbie Meygen. Barbie Meygen. Barbie Meygen. Bratz. 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 Barbie Meygen. Barbie Meygen.
In our test, Bratz came out top with 6 votes, Meygen a close second with 5, and Cindy and traditional Barbie both got 0. Bad news for Barbie from our girls, and a big task ahead for Cindy. But who will triumph in the long run?
We're very confident that we can continue to prevail and continue to be the #1 girls brand in the world.
We have raised the bar and we have innovated our product line even more and more, and there is more to come. There is more to come. So let's see if they can catch on. I don't think they can.
Bratz are a trendy toy, but after 10 years, those clownish outfits are going to look really exaggerated and clownish. And Barbie, with all of her peculiarities, is much more universal and, as a consequence, much more of a survivor.
Back at Hamley's, Lola's gone shopping with her mum. In the toy test, she chose Meygen, but will she change her mind?
Oh, fantastic. Look at that. It's a snowboarding kit.
After all, it is a whole 24 hours later. Will the Bratz display sway her?
Look at it.
I kind of like them. They're both the same, but I think I like Bratz a tinsy bit more.
So, Bratz triumph again. In this fickle market, it may take more than a new man on her arm for Barbie to get over her midlife crisis. That's the end of the current series. The Money programme will be back in the autumn.